My name is Emil Edward Herman. I was born in Warsaw on December 6, 1931. I was born on the holiday of Hanukkah, both a miracle of Hanukkah and my survival is a miracle.
During the war, there were many times Ed Herman's life was in danger, but he survived, married Helena, and had a family. It's his extended family Ed often struggled to remember.
My father had, I think, 4 brothers and 3 sisters. 2 of the sisters stayed in the ghetto and they both perished. But there was something very special about one of the sisters. I contacted Ulla at the museum and I said, Ulla, I would like to find out more about my father's family.
Ed Herman approached me last year about his aunt, his father's sister. All he knew about her was her name, Ferka Herman, and that she was from the Lodz ghetto. Nothing else. So he had lots of questions, he had a void that needed to be filled with some answers.
And she found a document showing with her picture a work document from Ghetto Lodz. What was amazing to me and very emotionally stirring, Ulla also found a list of people being deported from the Lodz ghetto to Helmno, which was a death camp, and supposedly anybody getting there was killed the next day.
The ghetto was established in 1940. Ferka was murdered in 1944, so she survived for a long time in excruciating conditions in the ghetto, and we need to remember about her strength. We need to remember her story.
The Florida Holocaust Museum is dedicated to preserving and sharing those stories. Ed often shares his story with school children. But what if he could reach a larger audience? The museum is in the process of building a new, state-of-the-art Holocaust Collections, Preservation, and Research Center. In order for others to try to find the missing pieces to their story, like Ed did, the museum is committed to building a center that will assist in rich, resourceful research, connecting generations of Holocaust survivors to their past by piecing together their family history.
And we will be using these stories to bring the lessons of the Holocaust to today.
While the Collections, Preservation, and Research Center will be based in St. Petersburg, its impact will be far-reaching, touching those in the Tampa Bay region, the state of Florida, the country, and the world. Holocaust survivors, students, educators, researchers, and many more people will have access to artifacts and documents that communicate a story, honoring the past and empowering the future. Just 3% of the museum's collection is on display at its downtown St. Petersburg home. 97% is in storage. The new research center will allow visitors supervised, first-hand access to that 97% never before seen.
We need to make sure that we teach people about this history through authentic stories, authentic artifacts, and remind them to apply those lessons to their lives every day.
The Florida Holocaust Museum has been doing just that within its walls for 25 years. The new Collections, Preservation, and Research Center will ensure that those artifacts and documents continue to speak to future generations, giving more people the tools to explore the past, tools that helped Ed find his aunt.
I contacted different archives, including the City Archive of Lodz in Poland, and we received copies of documents from the Lodz ghetto, showing where Ferka Herman lived in the ghetto, where she moved, the exact address.
It was an emotional moment for Ed when he saw his aunt's picture and documents for the first time.
I started crying because it was that emotional. Because it's my father's sister, my aunt, who was murdered, and I know exactly when. It was very, very difficult. It was extremely important to me to know. I don't remember their faces, but I knew I had the family, which was part of my father's family, which I wanted to know what happened. And finally, Holocaust Museum and Ulla was able to get the information, which was invaluable to me. The biggest fear is what will happen to our story when we are gone.
The museum preserves stories to help honor the past and empower the future.
Young people have to know that unless they stop evil at the very beginning, before it spreads, there are dangers to society. We are doing it not just for the Jewish cause, but for the cause of everyone who is discriminated against.